The silence in the courtroom hung like a thick fog, oppressive and unbreakable. It descended over my mother, Linda, a woman who had always made maintaining harmony her life's mission. The color drained from her cheeks, turning her face into a ghostly, shocked shell. Next to her sat my father, Richard, a man deeply invested in his small-town reputation, his hand frozen midair as if trying to stifle an unspoken cry. And there was my sister, Brooke, the undisputed favorite of the family, her flawlessly groomed nails loosening their grip on a heavy folder of legal papers, sending them tumbling and scattering across the gleaming wooden floor. The judge, a seasoned veteran with eyes that had witnessed countless dramas, gazed down at me from his elevated bench, his gavel lying idle and forgotten. He leaned closer to the microphone, his voice emerging as a hushed rasp that echoed through the speakers. That's impossible." His eyes narrowed sharply as he turned toward my parents. "You claimed she was dead." 2 months before that fateful day, I was miles away in a secure, isolated facility, confined to what we referred to as the clean room. It was a barren, windowless space illuminated solely by the flickering glow of encrypted screens displaying streams of data. My days were governed by meticulous control, precision, and secrecy, an existence buried deep in the shadows of classified operations. An urgent alert flashed on my dedicated terminal, marked with a Priority 1 designation that overrode all standard protocols. It came directly from my superior, General Harlan, a no-nonsense leader who dealt only in hard facts. This wasn't a mission update. It was a personal alert triggered by an automated surveillance system monitoring my civilian identity for irregularities. A probate court petition had been filed in my home state to declare me, Emily Harper, legally deceased. I stared at the petitioners' names repeatedly, Richard and Linda Harper, my own parents. The purpose was stark and merciless: to dissolve the trust fund established by my late grandparents in my name and liquidate every asset. The initial wave of shock gave way to an icy, calculated understanding. This wasn't merely a selfish scramble for inheritance. It was a severe security breach and deliberate effort to erase the legal identity of a classified federal operative. My family hadn't simply betrayed me. They'd unwittingly positioned themselves as a potential risk to national security. They believed they were simply accessing funds from a missing relative to bail out Brooke's latest failing business endeavor. They had no clue they'd activated a high-level alert, drawing the attention of a high-ranking general in the intelligence community. To fully grasp the justice that followed, one must understand the dual existence my family imposed on me. In their eyes, I was Emily, or M, as they casually called me, the reliable but unexciting middle child. Quiet, unassuming, and never demanding the spotlight. They had crafted a convenient image of me, someone who didn't compete with Brooke's charisma or ambitions. They nicknamed me the librarian, stemming from a complete misinterpretation of my government archival work. To them, I spent my days in some drab office basement, organizing dusty files in a monotonous, invisible routine. This illusion peaked during the final family holiday gathering I attended 3 years prior. The whole evening revolved around celebrating Brooke. She had recently started her 4th luxury lifestyle brand, once again propped up by substantial financial support from my parents. My father, a former town mayor who still relished his lingering community influence, rose for a grand toast. His voice filled the room as he praised Brooke's bold vision and relentless drive. As I listened, Memories flooded back. The summer coding boot camp he dismissed as frivolous spending. The high school science fair awards he tucked away in a closet. The scholarships and honors that earned only cursory nods. When the cheers for Brooke subsided, I tentatively shared my own news. I'd secured a prestigious fellowship in advanced cybersecurity analytics. My father merely patted my arm condescendingly. "Sounds interesting, sweetie," he said distractedly, already turning to chat with guests. "More books and computers for you, huh?" That was their version of me, a background figure easily overlooked. The reality couldn't have been more different. My true world pulsed in the hidden hubs of national defense. I wasn't a librarian or archivist. I was a shadow cyber operative for a top-tier intelligence agency, operating under the call sign Phantom. My expertise lay in detecting and neutralizing invisible digital threats, malicious codes that could cripple infrastructure before detection. The divide between these lives was profound, a constant tightrope I walked. One night, condescended to over dinner, the next, commanding a high-stakes operation in a fortified control center. Red alerts blared as an unidentified zero-day vulnerability ravaged critical defense networks, potentially blinding satellite communications. Panic rippled through the room, but for me, time decelerated. Chaos sharpened into clarity. "It's adaptive malware," I announced calmly into the comms. "Self-mutating code, evading signatures on the fly. Pursuit is futile. We isolate and sever." The room deferred to me. I proposed a drastic rollback to a verified backup state. "Authorize Phantom 9. A tense pause ensued, stakes sky high. Then General Harlan's voice cut through. "Approved, execute." The rollback succeeded, averting disaster. Later, at the secure vending area, the general approached. "Outstanding, Phantom. You preserved operational integrity." That brief affirmation carried more weight than any familial praise I'd ever received. I recalled a past conversation with my mother, questioning why they remortgaged the house for Brooke's ventures while I managed my own debts. Her reply was gentle but cutting. "Brooke's dreams are right here, so vivid and immediate. You're always so self-reliant, Em. We figure you're okay on your own." My independence had made me invisible. They didn't need to concern themselves, so they didn't. I had long resigned to their ignorance, but attempting to legally erase me crossed into unforgivable territory. They respected only formalities, courts, documents, declarations. So I resolved to respond in kind, but with unprecedented authority. The hurt daughter in me yearned for confrontation, explanations, raw emotion. But years of dismissal had trained that voice silent. The operative, Phantom, took over. Emotional outbursts were inefficient. They handed power to the opponent. This would be precise, procedural retribution. Accessing agency resources, I retrieved the full petition dossier instantly. The affidavits, signed by Linda, Richard, and Brooke, wove an elaborate tale of my mysterious vanishing, complete with invented searches and despairing conclusions, all sworn under oath. Their lies were now evidentiary gold. I forwarded the file to General Harlan. His review fueled a restrained rage, not just personal, but at the endangerment of classified personnel for petty gain. He greenlit Operation Revelation, a streamlined counter-protocol. Phase 1. Allow the hearing to proceed uncontested, letting them solidify their perjury on record. Phase 2. Deliver a sealed federal directive to the court at the critical juncture. Phase 3. Harlan's discreet attendance, signaling governmental oversight. My father, with his local connections, assumed control over a familiar system. He was oblivious to federal intervention. The courtroom matched my mental image, cramped, dimly lit, redolent of aged wood and forgotten coffee. My family exuded casual assurance at the petitioner's table. This was mere formality before claiming their inheritance. Brooke fiddled with her phone. Richard lounged smugly, savoring his perceived mastery. The judge prepared to sign, pen poised. Then the rear doors creaked open. I entered silently, strides measured, positioning myself against the back wall, observing. The attorney spotted me first, his monologue halting abruptly, eyes bulging. Brooke glanced up irritably, then froze in horror. Richard's smugness evaporated into bewilderment. Linda's reaction sealed it, a collective inhale that vacuumed the air. Their fabricated mourning collapsed instantly. The judge, sensing the shift, followed their stares. His composure cracked. Leaning in, "You said she was dead." Before recovery, the bailiff delivered the envelope, nodding toward Harlan in the gallery. The judge read, expression shifting from puzzlement to solemn realization. He straightened, voice thundering. Hearing suspended. Federal probe initiated for perjury, fraud, and endangerment of a classified asset. My family recoiled. Richard paling, Brooke crumbling into sobs. Affidavits admitted as evidence. Surrender devices and passports to marshals. On cue, agents entered. The judge addressed me respectfully. "Ma'am, your escort awaits." They'd minimized me lifelong. Now, classified asset underscored my significance. I exited without glance, amid rising chaos, pleas drowned by authoritative commands. My steps echoed down corridors, toward waiting security and the black vehicle. Justice would proceed impartially. A year on, in a cutting-edge command suite, I briefed my team as division head. Holographic displays mapped global threats. These colleagues, sharp, committed, knew me as Phantom, valuing my expertise unconditionally. This was my chosen family, bound by purpose. Updates arrived formally. No incarceration, but ruinous penalties. Fines depleting savings, felony records tarnishing forever. Richard's cherished image shattered. The trust transferred wholly to me. After contemplation, I founded the Harper Innovation Scholarship, funding ethical cyber defense talents, honoring grandparents' faith and redeeming the name. One night, an email from Brooke, manipulative plea for aid, no remorse. I felt nothing, deleted without response. They sought to bury me for unearned gain. In becoming their ghost, I discovered true worth lies in actions that safeguard others. If this story of betrayal, hidden strength, and ultimate revenge resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel Revenge Reload for more gripping tales of justice served cold. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support keeps these stories coming.